Hello, and welcome to The Experience Local with Russ and Scott. Each week, they bring you conversations with local Christian businesses and business owners. The Experience Local is brought to you each week by wonderful sponsors.
Copper Rock Real Estate. Commercial and residential real estate in the Mid-Willamette Valley. CopperRockRealty.com. Independent Merchant Brokers. Low-cost and no-cost debit and credit card processing. 877-460-4747. IndependentMerchantBrokers.com. Join Boson Hub Digital Development in supporting Kicking Cancer. Kicking Cancer provides support, education, and resources for cancer patients, survivors, and families. Kicking-cancer.org. More than just a home, the Arbor at Avamere Court in Kaiser. Arbor at AvamereCourt.com. Assisted living at Avamere at Albany. Avamere at Albany.com. Discover Oregon Real Estate. Tim Rist on the web at DORE.LLC. Find your people, find your home.
And now, your hosts for The Experience Local, Russ and Scott.
Ta-da!
Hey.
Hey, good morning, everybody. How you doing? Russ and Scott here on The Experience Local, live with Russ and Scott. We're here broadcasting live every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and 11 a.m. Texas Standard Time.
Texas Standard Time. That's right. Yeah. Hey, you're not in your local, your regular office there. Where in the world is Russ today?
I've got my little hotel coffee here, and I am at the coast, enjoying a little rest for a couple days is all. So just getting some time with my beautiful wife and daughter. We're just here to take just one night, a couple days, just trying to make it fun. And it's a blessing doing business with people on the coast because it makes it very, very affordable to come to the coast.
Well, the nice it's a good change of scenery. It's probably a little warmer actually at the coast than in the valley, and it's always to be at the Oregon coast. We were there just a couple weeks ago, right? And
we were reversed. You were broadcasting from the coast.
That's right. Yeah, we were there at Glen Eden Beach, and that's just a fun place. And we got to go to our favorite restaurant there on the coast, Tidal Raves. They are not a sponsor, but they should be.
They should be, yeah. Well, we're about 15 minutes from where you stayed.
Yeah.
And of course, we've been there. It's a beautiful place. So anyway, the place we're staying, I'll give a shout out to my friend Jason at the Coho Inn, Coho Lodge Suites, and they're amazing. They give us great suite. We have like a separate bedroom, and we have a kitchen and a living room. It's just really nice, and it's right on the ocean.
Everything you need. You got the beach. You got your wife and your daughter. Yep. Perfect. Hey, we have a great guest today, and this is episode number 49, Russ. And it's to me pretty amazing. We've got Tiffany Fallows, who's going to be joining us and sharing some more inspirational stories as we learn about her and the why. Remind people, Russ, about all the places where they can find us.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm telling everybody, because of Scott's genius, you can go straight to local.theexperience.video, find out all about Scott and I and about this show and about our other shows on The Experience. We also have The Experience Live with Russ and Scott on Wednesdays at 7 a.m. Pacific. And Scott also has the Waco Experience. And we have The Experience Backstage at 6:30 a.m. Pacific Wednesdays on Instagram only. So we have quite an array of shows. And this show also broadcasts on the Experience Radio Network. Thank you to Hope 107 and KWIL and KYKN in Salem. We're so thankful for those radio stations. But you know what, Scott? It is a blessed day. Tiffany and the Mid-Willamette Family YMCA is an amazing, amazing organization that's all about God. It's God-focused and it's people-focused and serving the community. And Tiffany has been a friend for a long time. We've been able to work together, and she is amazing. And I think we just get her in.
Let's do it.
Here she is, Miss Tiffany Fallows. Hey, Tiffany.
Hey,
Morning.
good morning.
Thank you for having
good.
me.
Oh, you are so welcome. Hey, I was thinking when we set this up, I can't believe we didn't set you up a long time ago to come on, because you're amazing and doing so many great things in the community. And, of course, I appreciate you so much as a friend. And you're just a blessing to me. So let's start off with the basics. Who in the world is Tiffany, and what do you have to give us a little info about you?
So I am currently the Chief Development Officer for the YMCA here in Albany, Oregon. I've been in this role for a little over 2 years, and just kind of landed in this role, not expecting it. It was kind of a twist of fate, really. Back in 2022, we were set to move to Boston. My husband had a job offer out there, and a really great job offer. We had sold our house. We were on our way out, moving companies, trying to figure out a place to live, and life stepped in to stay here in the end. And pretty well after the decision to stay, this job opportunity came up, and a friend of a friend, like, I heard something and it sounds like you. And my background has always been, if I could be a professional volunteer, I would be, because I'm constantly just drawn to how can I help. And this was an opportunity to take it on a much larger scale with a great organization. So I was very blessed to be matched with the YMCA. And in this role, I kind of take my love of relationships and connections with other people and try to connect them all together to do good things. So raising money for our outreach work here, we do like $500,000 in scholarship support to families, kids playing sports, support of disabilities, you name it. We try to find a solution, which I love, because I'm always like, how do I connect resource one with resource B to create great things? And this every day is that opportunity. So just kind of, who can I meet next? What can we learn?
And Tiffany, you started in 2022. You came from the lending, mortgage side of the world.
Yeah. So I was working in mortgage lending, came on in the crazy world of COVID. And
I was going to talk about that. I was going to ask you about that too, with coming into the Y as a fund, development.
Well, for me, I've always been volunteering in the background. Like, first big role was I led National Honor Society as a high schooler decades and decades ago. How do you get other people to want to volunteer and give their time? And I've been really good at motivating people, like, hey, this is a really important cause. Let's rally together. Let's create great things. And so even though I was in the mortgage lending world, I still focused on a specialty set that was really important to me, which was seniors, and trying to educate on like reverse mortgages, because that's an area that can be predatory. So how do you create great education to help protect those individuals? And so the education piece was super important. So even though, again, serving everybody of all ages, seniors were really special to me. And that was my outreach work, even in the mortgage time of my life. And I was running PTA in the background, because I did that for 9 years. And my kids finally grew out of that and didn't need me around anymore, but for the school part, but always giving, always volunteering, because that's my happy place. So this is just what I work for.
Well, you're so good at that too. And you work for Mr. Chris Reese, who was our very first guest on the Experience Local. Chris is an amazing individual, and the two of you go together so well. That's why I loved being able to help and be part of all that you were doing, because it is my happy place too, to be able to give out and connect people and really work in the community. And I think it was a blessing to be able to work with the two of you. And when I get all better, I'm going to work with you more. So there you go. But one thing I love about what you do is, let's go to the community again real quick here. And that is, the whole organization nationwide, the YMCA is focused on their communities. But I think Chris and you do even more, filling gaps where there's things in the community that kids don't have, i.e. the sports fields, i.e. the skating rink, and all the things you guys have done. Talk a little bit about what the real drive is to not compete with other children's organizations, but actually work alongside them, fill in gaps, early child learning, all of that stuff. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we are super blessed. We are, as far as we know, the largest single campus for YMCA in the state of Oregon, the most diverse as well, with 144 unique programs. And we don't take that lightly. We try to go into the world with a humble heart and say, how can we share this blessing? And so collaboration is super huge for us. And so when we go out to like-minded nonprofits or support groups for children, we're like, hey, how can we both do great things side by side? Because again, each of us thriving means our community as a whole is better off for it. So constantly looking, okay, so you do this thing, let's help you do it really well. And then we come alongside you and there's a hole. How do we serve that hole that's not available right now? How do we keep our families happy and local in the care of their family members? So don't have them going off to Salem or Portland or Eugene. Well, that's great. How much better would it be to have it in our own backyards and have local people we know, like caring for our kids, leading our kids in swim instruction, guiding our parents as they're dealing with Parkinson's in a boxing class. Like that's an amazing, invaluable resource to have that hub that's for families in this entire Willamette Valley here, and to be a part of that team. I mean, we're constantly brainstorming what else is missing and how can we make that happen. So it feels pretty special.
And you and your husband were all geared up to go from one side of the continent to the other. Mm-hmm. And God had different plans. So no, hold on. Yeah. I've got a different direction for you. So let's talk about your faith in your work.
Well, faith for me is always an ongoing journey. I think that especially in the times that we live in right now, it's pretty challenging to see some of our most vulnerable people in our society kind of in a really rough spot, and to feel like my faith and my morality is just really challenged right now. So constantly in that journey of studying other religions, even my own, just constantly trying to be in a humble space of learning and opening. So it's hard to explain, but continually renewing my faith in humanity, I guess, because even though there's horrible things on the news, it seems like we can't get away from it. I believe in mankind so much. And so trying to hold on to that part of love and community and just serving one another is that renewal when life is really trying to challenge us at every turn. So I could say that my faith is an ever evolving thing, but my sense of moral and right and wrong are always the foundation of why I make a decision, right? Came to this organization, it was a really kind of comforting notion. They have that faith of Christianity, that YMCA in our name, but it's also, they do it in such a way that it's that welcoming part of Christianity that's so important. Everybody is welcome. Everyone should feel safe and just renewed in our why. And that's so important for me as a person, to be around like-minded individuals and to be within an organization that believes in that is very special. So
yeah, let me jump in there and just say that that's what I love about the Y. I mean, it started as a Christian organization, but it's all about the Jesus loving people. You guys are all people that are coming in. You're loving people. You are serving the community, and the foundation and the morals and the just what you guys stand for is so important. And that's what I love, from Chris down to you to the whole group. And I just love that you are always very active. You talk about, your faith is a journey. It is for all of us. And you're very active in sharing God's love to people in the community. And I just love that. You're in an organization, though, that is probably harder to really scoop your family as part of what you do, but your family is all of what you do, because that's the most important thing in your life here. And so talk a little bit about how your family supports and helps, and you got a wonderful husband, and the whole team makes what you do in the community doable.
Well, I think a really important thing to highlight is that when life kept us here and not to Boston, my husband said to me, I want you to find something that feeds your passion, because he knew my time at the PTA was ending with the kids moving on to middle school and high school. He's like, again, if we're going to stay, I want you to find something that speaks to you. And my passion level has always been that world of volunteering and connecting resources and just helping my community thrive. And so he was really the ultimate cheerleader in getting me into this role and moving me out of, I've always been in sales careers like insurance, home building, mortgage and stuff like that. But so pivoting and making it my full-time role was like the ultimate gift that my husband gave me. And so always thankful to him for being behind me. Like, I want you to do what really feeds you, because he's been blessed to be in a specialty work in his work with the hospital where he gets to do what he loves every day. I'm blessed with 2 teenagers. I have a soon to be 14-year-old and a soon to be 18-year-old in my world. And they're kind of all connected in the Y family because they've been coached by Chris Reese through the world of sports and stuff like that. And they come in and they're just here. I get to see them go down the hallway and they check in and say hi to mom. And but I work hard every day because I want something great in their community too, right? Like, so this is also for them. Like, I'm building up a community that's healthy and thriving for them to thrive too. So motivation for sure. I love them. They're my whole world. And yeah.
Tiffany, our time always goes so fast, and Russ is going to step in here in a moment and say, as we wind down. And so before we get to that, I want to talk a little bit. I want you to share about what it means to be the Chief Development Officer at the Y, because it's not just about getting people to give. Tell us about your role.
Well, I think for me as a Chief Development Officer, I really love that I'm given the chance to connect people and resources. So like, it isn't necessarily a fundraising piece, but to be relied on as a resource in the community, not just for the Y, but for other groups, right? Like, I have people call me up, other nonprofits, is like, hey, we have this challenge. Can you help us? And because of the extensive network that I've created and been blessed with all these relationships and people that I've met along the way, I'm helping so many different good things to happen. And so it's a development of the Y, but it's also development of Albany. It's a development of our community. That's pretty darn special because, again, if the community is not thriving, we're not thriving. Like, our families are affected. All that has to work together side by side. And so that's huge for my role, whether it's at a fundraising event or not. I'm just going out to support someone else's fundraising efforts or outreach. That's amazing. So, and this job has allowed me to do that.
Well, and I think part of that too is you're really super involved with the chamber and other organizations, and you are constantly working and collaborating with other people in the community. And I think that is a very special thing about Albany. I mean, there's a lot of great communities out there, but I think the Albany community and the surrounding area, it really comes together. But I think it starts with, you talked before about giving to others and what you love to do, your happy place. And it starts, I got to go back to Chris real quick, because he's the leader of the organization and you are the same way. That's why the two of you work so good together. Giving so much to people, helping people. You guys a lot of times are sending people to the Boys and Girls Club. You're helping people in other organizations. Chris is coaching and doing a million things, just like you were the parent club leader and all the stuff. And you're leading by example. Talk a little bit about that before we get to the wrap up time. We still have a few minutes. So talk about the leading by example part in your community and why that is so important.
I think I'm very similar to Chris. I don't necessarily look for the spotlight, but I would say it would be disingenuous to not say that I don't get really excited and filled up in my heart when I see that what I'm doing might inspire others to do great things. So whether it's getting people on board to show up to go to the food bank, right? And it's like 7 a.m. and it's like odd hours, but that's really fulfilling to hopefully show what great things can happen when you give of your time a little bit. Or if you go in with a humble heart and say, like, doesn't matter what it is, even with my own staff day to day, like, I'll clean a bathroom. It doesn't matter. Like, again, just serving in your life is super important. And I hope I'm answering that question correctly, but it's just one of those things that I just, it's very fulfilling for me that if I might inspire someone else to want to do that same thing of give of themselves. And that's been a part of my life for a long time, leading volunteer teams or again, running the parent group or whatever. It's hard. Our lives are busy and they're constantly overloaded with just noise and information, good or bad, and trying to find that sense of community and love and really giving of your time. You can reconnect with that part, which is the good part of humanity, right?
These are great points that you bring up. Today's guest, Tiffany Fallows, Chief Development Officer at the Y there in Albany. And as we were coming into this, I just was thinking of the inspiration that could be provided. And I love what you're saying about our busy lives, and you're fortunate. You've got into this role that really, as your husband said, fills your heart. And so what advice do you have for people who are not in that role today? What do you recommend? You've been given some great advice.
Well, I tend to live in the moment, like cherish every moment, because you don't know what tomorrow will bring. And so to me, and my husband, again, is a big inspiration for this too, is that if we keep spinning our wheels every day and we're not happy, definitely that is a sign to explore what's out there. You never know. I never knew this role was going to be there for me. I didn't know we weren't going to go, like Boston was there and all these, you just have to look, keep your eyes open and take care of yourself. Because if you're not taking care of yourself, like it's a domino effect of other things. It can affect your family. It can affect your community. But again, taking care of yourself is central to that. And part of that's if you're not happy in your role, this is that time to be creative. Like you'd be amazed what's out there when you look and connect with your friends and like get us outside point of view. Like, what am I good at? What am I not seeing? Because sometimes you get stuck in a rut, right? And you don't see the other things that other people believe in and love you for. So that can be a great opportunity to try something new as well with their feedback and their help and that community behind you. So yeah. But you have to care for yourself first.
Well, I want to go back to you and your heart as we start to wrap up today. And that is,
see, I told you it was coming.
You are such a blessing. First of all the things that the community has been giving back to me and my family. And we had an event up in Salem, and Tiffany drove after a long day of work all the way up to Kaiser to be at that event for me. And that just shows her heart and the kind of person that she is. And Tiffany, I can't say enough good things about you, but I think that as we wrap up today, what I really want you to do is let everybody know what is the main point, the gold nugget of today that you want people to remember about life and about what the Y is all about, right? Serving and loving and giving and all of that. And then make sure and let everybody know how they get in touch with you, because we definitely want to be able to have people reach out to you. So go ahead.
I think for me, we got to ignore some of the awful stuff that we're hearing in the news and the media and try to focus on community and family more. I think that that's really the place that's going to be our safe place, our welcoming place. Find organizations like the Y that, again, are loving and welcoming. If it's your church group, if it's your friend group, times are tough. And we, again, a little bit of unknowns right now, but really love their family, live in the moment, and just be thankful for everything like in your world. Like, hopefully that's the way to kind of get us through some of this bumpy stuff that's going on. If anyone's interested in like the stuff I do at the Y or learning more about how we collaborate with others, like they can always email me, resource director at ymcaalbany.org. They can always call me. My number's on the website. I just, I'm so grateful. I love meeting anybody. Like call me up, we'll have a coffee and we'll learn like, how can I help? And this is usually how I start every conversation. How can I help? And it doesn't necessarily have to be Y, like it's the world. So.
And that is true, because Tiffany and I have coffee from time to time, and she is very helpful. And all of her information magically appeared on the screen while she was talking. It's also in the comments and the show notes. You can click right on it. It is clickable, everyone. So click on that, go to Tiffany. If you're not in our local community, it doesn't matter. What can you do for your local community? And that is what Scott's and my focus here is, not to say our local communities are the best. And if you're not in Albany, Willamette Valley area, or if you're not in Waco, Texas, then you don't have a community. No, we want you to focus. Global community is wonderful, but we want you to focus on helping your local community thrive and be blessed. So today, reach out to Tiffany. She'd be glad to give you pointers and information on how to do that. And Tiffany, we're just so thankful that you're here today. You're such a blessing to me. And thanks for coming on today. I appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Great to see you.
Good to see you too.
Just so much
Hang tight. I'm going to send you to the green room, but we'll be right there. Yeah.
Really great advice. I just love this whole thought that she was talking about our lives being so full, so busy, so many things bombarding us. And a lot of what we get bombarded with are things that are out of our control. But being able to be in that moment and focus in on that time that you're spending, like there you are, Russ, at the coast with your wife, with your daughter, being able to take this moment to be there. Just great advice and great inspiration today from Tiffany.
Well, and I can tell people that no matter what you're going through in life, we all got stuff going on. Mm-hmm. And through all my stuff, I do all that I can to give out. Yes, I need rest. Yes, I need to just be with my family and those things. But you could take that moment to make a difference. Take that moment to just make an impact on somebody in your world. And I think that's what's so important. That's what Tiffany is really all about. Mm-hmm. And Scott, I'm just going to throw this out again as we are starting to get things wrapped up here. But just remember, everybody, you can go to local.theexperience.video for more information about Scott and I. We're here at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and 11 a.m. Texas Standard Time every week live. But guess what? After that, it sits on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook forever. And it's a video podcast. So you can go back, you can get the information, you can connect with Tiffany, you can connect with other people in the comments. There's been people in the comments on Facebook and LinkedIn and then YouTube. Then it converts to audio podcast. And then if you don't have time to watch, you can listen on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, whatever your favorite podcast platform is. And then it's on the radio. So if you don't have time to do all that.
There's more.
There's more, but wait. So 6 p.m. tonight, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, it will be on Hope 107's AM station, KWIL, and 8:30 Saturday morning coming up here. This next Saturday, it will be on KYKN in Salem, Oregon. So you can listen to those.
KYKN is also on the TuneIn app. So if you have TuneIn, anywhere in the world, you can listen to it.
That's right. So there's so many opportunities. And, we just want to continue to thank our amazing sponsors, because we could not do this without them. Thank you so much to, let's pull this thing off here so it's not going across. There we go. Rock, Boson Hub, The Arbor, Independent Merchant Brokers, Avamere of Albany, and Door, Discover Oregon Real Estate. And I'm telling you, they're such a blessing. And guess what? Not only that, but also we are listener supported. If you feel so moved to bless our ministry and our online presence, praising God and praising a positive message, you can give. Scan that QR code or go to the link in the comments. We'd love for you to be part of our group. And if you want more information on sponsorships, you can reach out to Scott or I. Our information is also all over everything, so it'll be easy to find us. And we're just so blessed, and we're so thankful for the opportunity, right, Scott?
Yeah, great, Russ, to hang out with you every Monday and then Wednesday for the experience. The Wednesday show. We're coming up on episode 50 for here on the Experience Local. Episode number 200 is coming soon, so stay tuned. It's always a fun time. We have great guests, and today was just another great example with Tiffany, the chief development director for the Y there in Albany, and focusing on collaboration. So more great advice from her. There is no competition. It's all about collaboration. Let's work together and make the world a better place. And you get to hang out with cool people like Russ.
There you go. And like Scott. And until we see you again next Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 a.m. Texas Standard Time, have a blessed and amazing weekend. Enjoy
the experience locally.
Thank you for tuning in to The Experience Local with Russ and Scott. Listen to the program on Spotify or wherever you listen to fine podcasts. Join in every Monday live at 9 a.m. Pacific on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. We look forward to seeing you next time on The Experience Local with Russ and Scott.